Welcome back to the adventures of Mac and Anthea and part 6 of our Northern Spain adventure 2025. You rejoin us as we arrive at the motorhome service point in the centre of Proaza after leaving the recreation area on the edge of Proaza. We thought this park up would be the lesser of two evils, but as it turns out we only really got a mediocre night's sleep. So we packed up, moved on to what we hoped was going to be a quieter night's park up, which I spotted on Google Maps using the satellite function. Good morning and welcome back to a new park up. We've moved, not ever so impressed with the motorhome service point one here. It's a bit noisy and that, and that's sort of the second night of not bad sleep, but mediocre sleep. So yeah, we could do with a decent night's kip. The weather is changeable, there was rain coming in, there was quite low clouds, so we're going to go and look for bears from a viewpoint. So we decided not to cancel that, but delay it. We're going to come and do a few days up here. Also, it's Thursday, we're up here a day early we plan to be, but we want to be up out the way from the weekend, away from the recreation area, the service point, and up here. And we're quite high up here, so it's a little bit cooler, and hopefully there won't be too many people parked here. The car parks for the walk that you can just about see below there, that's a small part of it. They normally park right at the bottom, and those car parks down there are absolutely ram solid down there and up the road and anywhere. It's sort of square centimetre you can find to park people are in it. So yeah, there was no parking down there, and I wouldn't have parked there anyway. It would have drove us crazy. So I think we're going to chill out, take it easy for the rest of the day, and then we'll start on with some activities tomorrow. Good morning, welcome back. We're at the same secluded park up here, and we're about to go on a walk. Okay, and we're off. So this walk we've done before, we have videoed before, but didn't get a lot of views. It was early on in the channel, so yeah, not many people watched it, which is a shame because it is a really good walk. I'll write up here somewhere what it's called because it's completely unpronounceable. And this is referred to as the Mini Carrez, which is quite a famous walk here in Spain. If you're Spanish, you don't know it, which is a walk that actually passes between two villages, which is 12 kilometres long. The roadway in both directions is 100 kilometres, so yeah, quite an interesting walk, that other one. And this is called the Mini Carrez for the same reason. It joins, it's an old road which goes down a gully, actually chopped into the cliff face, and it joins two villages together. So that's basically why they refer to it, the Mini Carrez. So we're coming to the start of the walk. What's going to be the start of the walk for us? We're doing it different to last time. Before we parked at the bottom, which gets really crowded, and started from there. We're starting at the top. Now, we've been in two minds which way we're going to do this. We were going to do it in reverse first of all, but we drove up here, and part of it's sort of a little bit of it's a road section, and it's one of those sort of roads, where you go, even if you go along it a lot, it's the type of road that you forget a section, and you go around the corner, expect to be at a certain place, but then you've got the forgotten section. That's what happened there. Basically, it's an uphill road, and it's a lot longer than we remember. So we decided we'd rather go downhill on that than up after all, and we're going around the same way basically. So we start off with a bit of a pasture. The thing I particularly like about this walk is it's very diverse. You probably only got 500 metres, no more than sort of a kilometre before the terrain changes and you get sort of a different view. Personally for me, I like hiking and biking. If the sort of the route is very diverse, I prefer to hike it because obviously if I'm whizzing along on a bike I can miss things. But if it's not so diverse, say it's changing every 5 kilometres, I prefer to do it on a bicycle because then you cover the ground a bit and you basically don't get bored. You can still see interesting things at the same pace as hiking, but on a bike when the terrain doesn't change so quickly. Anyway, first bit we go down this trail here. Downhill section. Anthea's not so good on downhill, so it's good for her to get this out of the way first, and we're going along on pasture. Okay, so we come down that trail there. You just about to see Hobbit up there next to the tree, and we're carrying on down this path that's been cut through the bracken. Oh, we've got a soggy bit here which we're going to have to try and pick through. Give Madam makes it through. Okay, there we go. I don't think we're too far off this if memory serves me well. We've got this a bit further down, we've got a bend, a little bit of even steeper, bit rocky bit, and then I think we go into double track. Okay, so we've come down this section. It's a little bit more treacherous than last time when we came down, which is probably just as well because it's the end of the walk last time. Yeah, but it's really wet and sloshy, so we've had to tiptoe through that. We had a break here last time, and the only bit of shade that there was, someone's using it as a toilet now. And we've just got this bit, which is probably the worst bit of this sort of rocky bit down here is probably the worst bit of this trail down. So we'll get on with this, down to double trail, and then a little section on the road. So that's the last bit of sort of rocky steepness again, you know, can't tell on camera, but yeah, it's pretty rocky, it's steep, and we're going on to the level stuff now. So we're now on this sort of double trail. It's more or less the same incline and a bit level all the way down, so it's pretty easy now. And we've got sort of the really steep downhill out of the way. There's no really steep downhills after this, which is good to get out of the way first thing. And as Anthea put it, you know, her right knee's thinking about being painful. Mine is as well, so yeah, the downhills can often be as bad as the uphills, I think. So we'll be glad to get to the bottom of this and get this out of the way. So we've just noticed, if we've got this sign, we've just come down from there, sign there, path there, and then we've got this down to the road. Now we went down to the road last time, and there is signs for this down to the road here, but that looks pretty sure that that's telling us to go along that trail. Now I can't really think where that would come out, but I think we're going to give it a go. I think that's pretty obvious when you see like that, you know, and it's pointing down there. It's sort of definitely going sort of that way and not sort of back that way. So yeah, I think we'll have a go down there, and hopefully, you know, it's not going to, you know, take us miles off course. Okay, so we've gone up that single track, the one we don't know and we haven't been on before. Hopefully it's not telling us wrong. The good thing is I can hear the sound of traffic on the right. I mean, this should follow the road. Now it's turning and twisting this trail, but then so does the road, so it's hard to tell. If it was a straight road, you know, yeah, we're going in the right direction, but of course it isn't, so it's hard to tell. What about there? Okay, and we could see the road ahead. So it looks like we just cut off a section of the road by taking this path through. So we should have an even shorter section to the actual official start of the trail, which will relieve Anthea. She'll be happy I haven't taken her off on one of my magical mystery tours again. Okay, yeah, that's well hidden. That's why I haven't noticed that before in the past. Yeah, that and the fact that the sign's been destroyed. So we've just come across the road here, and this is where the pavement stops, and that also starts rather. And this is the answers a mystery of why we've got the pavement there and it doesn't go all the way up to the other bit. Because it can be quite dangerous, this road. Obviously people are having to get speed up to actually get up the hill because it's a steep incline. So it's hard to actually drive slowly and carefully up this hill. I know from personal experience, you know, you just got to really get your boot down to get up it. And so we arrived at the official start of this unpronounceable trail. Okay, so I've just stopped to quickly show you, that's the parking down below there, where everyone can park, and where we parked last time, and of course inevitably got boxed in. But anyway, yeah, that's where you can park for the start point and then walk up that road you can see there. We're continuing on up this path here. It's not so bad. Anthea's glad to be going uphill because her knees are better uphill than going down, and I think probably mine are as well. The village you can see over there, that's Bia Nueva, or one of the Bia Nuevas, because there's a lot of basically a new village here in Spain. They're all over the place. So yeah, that's the one which we went over on the bike ride to do that end of the Senderoso. Not sure I can spot that. No, I can't see that's covered. It's covered in sort of that line of trees down there. But the Senderoso is behind there, and in there's where that old stone bridge was that we went over. Beautiful old stone bridge. Okay, let's see if I can catch Anthea up and get round the corner into this gully. Better view of the parking down below, quite a way down there. They say that in the literature I read, that some of the heights we get up this cliff face down to the bottom of the stream you can see below, and it's only sort of a narrow path, is 500 metres. I've got to say I find that stretching it a bit. When I first did the walk, before I did the research into, you know, the literature on this walk, I estimated at 200 metres, and I'd say that's probably more accurate. That said, anything sort of over 20 metres, it doesn't really matter anymore, does it? You know, if you fall off there, you know, it's a long way down. It's going to hurt, and you're going to have plenty of time to think about it on the way down. Okay, so this is a bit I was talking about. This is absolutely beautiful. Look, you've got this little cut straight in the rocks here, this rock face here. and then look, you're straight out into it. Absolutely stunning. And this path follows the rock face all the way round, all the way along, and it's actually been chopped into the rock face. As you can see, even at this very low point, we're a good 80, maybe 90 metres off the stream below. Here we go, there's a sign on here. These always make me laugh. This is to tell us we're on the right trail. I mean, where the hell else are we going to go? You know, the other trail? Yeah, it's quite funny. Not so much when you get to a junction, there's a complete absence of signs and you end up getting lost. But anyway, I'm not sure this piece isn't new here. From last time.
It was there last time.
Was it? I actually flew the drone up in. I've got some drone footage. I'll probably try and dig it out and use it in this video, because I did notice on the sign down below now that there is actually meant to be no drones flying up here. I'll risk little Neo because he's only really following us, but I don't think I'll put the big drone up, which Anthea's carrying and probably not happy about now. Probably do it when we come out the other end. Actually, there's a nice church. Another bend. Another big drop, and the car park down below us. I know I keep ranting on about the importance of getting a good night's sleep, and if there was ever an example of a trail you should not be going on without a good night's sleep when you aren't feeling 100%, this is it. This is exactly why I need good park ups, get a good night's sleep, so that we can do trails like this safely, because a momentary lapse of concentration, 1 foot wrong, and you're going down the fast way. If you make it out there, you can see the wooden barriers up there. That's part of the trail, and it's going right up and all the way up to the corner. I doubt you're going to see them. So we found a good place to stop, have a drink, have a bit of a rest where people can pass on the trail easily. We've just come up from over there on that cut bend. We're going to go up for this little wooded bit up to sort of that rock you can see sticking out to the right and round there. That up there, incidentally, is where we ended up at the top when we took the wrong turn that time, trying to loop back round. I'll actually show you that point not to take when we get to it. So now it's changing a little and we're going through a bit of a wooded area. And we're about to come up to that next bend. You could just see. One of the great things about this walk is it's quite hard going, you know, and it requires a good bit of energy to do it. But because it's so interesting, because there's so much to see, because around every corner there's a new view, it doesn't seem so tiring. And the corner again. If we look down now, let's try carefully to look down, you can see just about make the stream out, maybe down at the bottom there, and you can see the really tall trees are a long way down. We're looking down the tops of those really tall trees down there. So yeah, like I say, it is a long way down 500 metres I'm going to say no. 150, 200 definitely. Okay, so we round a few more bends again. You can tell we're in Spain and not in the UK. We'll have to have wooden barriers all the way on our right, all the way down here. And here we go, one of my favourite parts here. I've been doing some replacement here. Yeah, we've got the chain now, nice shiny new chain. Before it was like a bit of rope that if you grabbed hold of it, it'd probably come away in your hand. But yeah, see, this is particularly dangerous, but it's wide enough, you know. You can get in away from the side like Anthea is. She just sort of puts her head down, looks straight ahead and just goes for it. But yeah, that's a scary bit. And what's around this corner? Another corner. Yeah, it's stunning, isn't it? Different camera this time, and hopefully you can pick up the water on the mic down there, rushing down through the gully. Okay. And again, more of the same. Love this bit. So underneath here, we're boxed right over our heads here. So, what's around this corner? Oh, another corner. I always film this bit when I come by, but this one's got a better light sensor, so hopefully it'll pick up a lot better this time. You see them down below, there's quite a few little rocks and caves down there as well, on the other side. Yeah, Anthea says she doesn't want to go down and explore those. And I think this is actually the point I flew the drone off last time and took some footage. Not going to do it today. Firstly, because you're not really meant to be doing it, and secondly, because there's a lot more people on the trail than we did last time. There was no one on the trail last time, so. Oh, looks like there's been a landslide. Okay, yeah, it's not too bad. Not a big drama. Do you want me to go first? You okay? Yeah, no biggie. Obviously you all slid down from up there. Got to be particularly careful. We noticed last time we came a day after there'd been heavy rain, and there's quite a few obviously fresh boulders on the trail and that. So obviously the rain had loosened, torrential rain had loosened off the boulders and they'd fallen. I'm not sure we've got much more of this now. corner again. What have we got this time? There we go. And I think that's it, the cliffy bit. Now we've just got this windy path and we get to a wooded area now. Okay, and now it's really narrow in here. Very pretty again, the tree's coming up. Hopefully the mic's picking up all that water rushing down there and cascading through the rocks down below. Absolutely stunning. Now if you might spot, okay, yeah, look at that. I don't know if it's going to come up on camera. Hopefully it will, but yeah, it's right down below in there. And again down below there, hopefully you're picking that up. All flowing down through the rocks. So yes, now we're well into the wooded area. And we've got a change of scenery all over again. Probably go down and have a look at that, couldn't we? Go down there. Okay, I'm just going to stop up here. I'm going to go down and show you the rapids and the rocks. So it's like detour, but worth it. It's a beautiful spot there. So little climb back up to the top, almost hands and knees. So yeah, one's suited Anthea. Is Anthea still here? Yeah, she's still here. I've been carried off by a bear. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a climb this, but it's not much. It's not for long. I seem to remember we've got a little bit of a cave. A little bit of a walk while it passes next to the stream, and then a bridge over the stream. Anthea's announced that she's starting to get the nibbles, and we've remembered to actually buy breakfast bars this time around, just to give us something to pick on the tracks, rather than stopping and having a full-blown sandwich, you know. Now this might be the cave. Yeah, this is it. Right, the light sensor's only good so far, but I will get a torch out and go and have a little look for you this time. Okay, we're going to go with the torch. Light sensor is a lot better on this new camera. What I'm seeing now on what you're seeing now in the picture is better than I can actually see with my naked eye. And I've had this before. I've gone through tunnels, and there's light at the end here, but I'm not sure I'm going to go any further. No, it's not. It's just shiny on the rock. This goes right deep into the mountain. I turn back round. Yeah, I'm going to work my way back out. That's your lot. Not sure what this cave is. I'll have a look on the line later and put it in on the subtitles. Okay, so we're picking our way through this. You've got to be careful. It's particularly slippy, this section. I remember that from last time as well. Really watch where you put your feet. I doubt it ever dries out here. We're in the middle of August and it's still pretty wet and dank down here. Never sees the sun, I suspect. So that's over the bridge, along this walkway here, and down the other side of the stream. If I recall correctly, we followed this for a while, and then we've got some quite large steps to get up. So it's getting a touch busier now because we're starting to get towards the other end of it, you know, where people start to come in a little way and then turn back around and go out. So yeah, they're starting to feed in from the other end. Still nice though, like when I say busy, I'm not talking, you know, stupid busy. We've probably seen no more than 20, 30 people on this entire trail. So it looks like we've got workmen ahead, so that I suspect that means they'll be repairing the steps. To be honest, I wish I'd leave it. Yeah, roadworks ahead. Yeah, I'd rather just have a steep slope to climb up than the steps, but hey. Okay, so they have repaired all the steps in. Actually, they have done a really good job. You could always go up the sides, I suppose, you don't want to step. This goes on for about 200-300 metres, so it's a hell of a climb. So we best get on with it. Okay, first little set, little level bit, or ish bit, and then we're back to even more steps. Take back what I just said, they've done a really good job with the steps, and yeah, so just make it easier. No, they used to be really giant steps, like Anthony just said. They're no good for little legs. And you just see the next set coming up ahead. Okay, we start the climb again. Oh, we're at the top already. Okay, that's definitely taken the strain out of this climb, these steps. It seemed to go on to ever before, yeah. Anthea says not by much, but yeah, that's a lot better. Excellent job, guys. Okay, so we're on concrete road. Last time it's a bit treacherous, it's not too bad this time, it's not so wet, not so slippy. I say the workmen, fair play, you know, they've obviously logged all their materials up to this point here and worked on those steps. It's bad enough walking on them, just imagine working and doing them. Yeah, hell of a job, and they've done a really good job there. So we're now climbing out the wooded area. In a minute we'll come out of this into some open meadows and then a church. Well, all of a sudden I feel really unfit. There we go. And that big bump you can see up there is a bit we accidentally climbed up to last time, which we do not want to repeat of today. A certain someone definitely doesn't want to repeat of that one today.
No.
More gravel for the trail. Okay, in the distance you can see the village of Dosanga. We're parked just the other side of that. But it's still quite a steep climb up to that village. So next stop is going to be the church. I think we just about see it under this tree here. Yeah, there it is. So we've just come up from there. That deep cut gully you can see between the mountains, what we've just come up through all that woodland and that. And now we're walking up to this little church. So we're leaving the church behind. Many people come up to this point, just return and retrace their steps back down the gully. But this is a loop and you can go all the way around. That's Dosango in the distance there, which is the steep path up to. You can just about make out the steep path there. And this next village we go to, I can't remember the name of, I'll write it in after. They have a decent bar in there, but I think we're just going to keep going. Okay, so we're coming into this pretty little village. I seem to remember there's two streets we didn't know which one to take. I think both of them take you to more or less the same point. There's a major bar here on the right in a minute, which seems to be a popular place. Yeah, it's nice, it's good tables to sit out. Yeah, between two cranes. Yeah, it's nice. We just take this road out. So we just down to the bottom of this slope and then we branch off onto this path. If I'll be able to zoom it in or point it out in editing, there's a path going up there. It's a windy path. I'm not going to lie, it's a tough climb. Yeah, it killed us last time, but this year we were a bit fit than we were last year. We get older and we get fitter. I don't know if it's due to not drinking anymore. We haven't been drinking for, getting on for 3 years now, Anthea?
Yeah.
Yeah, getting on for 3 years since we stopped drinking, and you do feel the difference. Okay, so we're here and Anthea's worrying we're going to here, but of course we're not, because we're parked at the top. So we're going to about here. There's the road down. We're parked probably around here. So yeah, we haven't got to go all the way down that long one again, thank God. But we have got to go down this one. And Anthea's starting to suffer badly with her knee now on the not going up but going down. But I think this is probably the last bit, this little bit here going down to that bench you can see at the end, and that is it. So she can just take her time, sort of walk down sideways a bit, and then it's all climb. So that's it. Now it's just climb. So there's a lovely shot of the village in the trees there that we've just come down from. Straight across there is the church. The village you can see in the background up in the hills. We're planning a bike ride, which will probably be our next activity through that. And up to a place that I discovered by accident. Probably some of the best places you discover are by accident. Which goes right up into the mountains. And right at the top of those mountains you can see there's a meadow. So that's going to be a bike one. We'll let the motors take the strain. So there's the village we've just come from again. Church there, and the village or hamlet really up in the background there, which we're going to go to in a few days. So we carry on, climb. Well, that makes a pleasant change. I was thinking we've got a couple more corners to go round and then we'll be at this house. Well, we're at this house already. Beautiful little house, this one. Okay, so now we've got the road up to the centre of Dosango. So we just stopped for a little rest at the Fuente. Quite an entertaining story at this point. Before, what we did is, it was a sunny day last time we did this, and we were in the shade there trying to get cell reception, which we couldn't. Try and find out exactly where we were now and try and see the screen in the sun. Couldn't find it and gave up and decided, we'd carry on up this road. But as we left, we sort of looked across here and saw the sign. So it's actually signed telling which way to go. Never noticed this before we came this way, and looks like it's been renovated. The local Labradora, old timers laundrette, and of course the obligatory dog barking in the background. Okay, we're coming up to the top of this road now to the main road. That's the last of the climb, and this is where we and several people have made critical mistakes on this walk in the past, and I'll show you guys that now, so if you ever do this walk you won't make the same mistake. So Bella Nueva, as we all know, is that bit where you started at the bottom, which I pointed out to you, and as you see, if I put my back on it, that sort of points in that direction. Now I'll see they've actually corrected it. Now I have to say that. Now what we did, as we walked across here, I thought, well, we're not going on the road, you need to be on the trail, that looks in the right direction. And we followed that trail all the way up there for about 2.5–3 kilometres, only to end up in the meadow right at the top, which I pointed out to you earlier, that mountain top, looking down on that gully that we walked through. Could have done again with a painted X on there, we said at the time, but if you see here, they've actually added a sign, although it looks like a temporary one. Obviously, again, a common place where people make mistakes, so someone's organised the walk, it looks like, and put that sign on there, because that's not going to stay there long. Gust of wind, that's going to be gone. But yeah, they could do something a bit more permanent just there to get people walking down here, because 200–300 metres down here, and then there's a branch off, going down the grassy bit, which we started on. So we're not far from Hobbit. Getting cheers from in front here. Okay, and here's the start of the trail at this end, and poor Anthea's damn glad we haven't got to go down that one, because that's what really finished her off at the end of last time up that, and me taking us on a detour sort of 6 kilometres up into the mountains. But yeah, that's the start, and it's starting at the top here and getting that over and done with to start with. Yeah, certainly makes the walk a lot better. I mean, obviously you're going in a loop, so you're going to be doing the same descent and climb. There's no way around that, but yeah, getting over with first of all is a great improvement. So hopefully up around the corner here, Hobbit's still here. Yes, I can see him. There he is. We know he's okay because we leave the cameras on and we can check the cameras with our phones, which we do as we go around. And we've got microphones actually in these cameras, so if there's people, misbehaving, we can give them a little shout, let them know that we're recording. But yeah, there's nobody here. There's nobody's been on the cameras. Nothing's been picked up. I think the only thing we've picked up on the cameras is horses. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the walk. We're back in Hobbit. We've just opened him up and he's still nice and cool inside, so that's a nice relief. It's not a particularly sunny day today, but it's slightly overcast, which made it perfect for walking. I shall write in again up above here what this walk's called, because it's a must do if you're in this area. It's approximately 8.5 kilometres in total, so pretty much doable by most people, especially if you're younger, you know, and a bit fitter than us. So I think what I'll do, we're chilling out for a few days. Like I say, it's Friday today. We're going to chill out, and the next one on our list is going to be the bicycle ride, which I talked about earlier. And so that brings us to the end of part 6 of our Northern Spain adventure. In part 7, we travel all the way up by bicycle to the mountaintop pastures, finally get to go on our bear hunt, and also explore one of the last surviving medieval villages in the Asturias. So all that remains is to thank you for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss part 8, and I'll see you next time.